Today, police and law-abiding citizens choose semi-automatic handguns and rifles such as the AR-15 for the same reason. They are often the best choice for the lawful defense of self and others. To assert that such firearms and their standard capacity factory magazines are only meant for mass murder is truly to libel law-abiding citizens and the many law enforcement officers who choose these guns not for hunting, not for collecting, but for the purpose for which police officers always carry firearms, for the lawful defense of self and others.
In contrast, the United States during that same time saw violent crime decrease 31.8% and rape decrease 19.2%. To my mind, that data suggests that allowing law-abiding citizens to arm themselves, and in particular protecting the right of women to protect themselves, is an important safeguard against violent offenses. Are you aware of any data or any argument to the contrary, that stripping women of the right to defend themselves does not make them more vulnerable to violent predators?
The current gun law is, when this was written, there was not the current gun law. Proposition 63, which was presented on the ballot in this November 8 election, passed handily. You may be pleased to know that 4 years ago it didn't pass. This year it passed by a plurality of in excess of 63%. Only 37% voted against it. And here's what it does. It includes much greater scrutiny, and we'll get into this more as we discuss this whole issue, but much greater scrutiny for gun ownership.
Well, if you're talking about the current gun laws that have been legislated and are going to become effective in January, frankly, I agree with a lot of them. We should be more accountable governmentally on who has firearms, because there are people who should not have firearms, and these are people that are generally regulated by law, whether they're prior felons, whether they have a history of mental illness. So, you know, as these things come up, they need to be legislated. So the gun laws that we have currently, I think, are fine. I know that the gun laws that are coming out, or one of the laws that are coming out January, I believe January 1st, is magazine capacity, meaning how many bullets you can carry in a gun. And you know, I agree. I don't think that there's a need for any more than 10 at all. And I mean, and there are magazines that will hold hundreds, you know, and there's really no need for that. So, yeah, I think the gun laws that are coming out are just fine.
Why? The current gun law, I reiterate, it has been changed, and the reason is because it was very easy for people to acquire guns, even felons. There have been laws in operation, but you know that when there's a separation between the laws that are in operation, no matter how fine the laws are, if it's not coupled with enforcement, then the law is to no avail. You must not just couch your concerns and your hopes in the existence of the law, but there must be enforcement. So this new law that has replaced the other law, it's filled up all kinds of gaps. If you want to purchase guns, you have to pass national background checks. Most people, you and I, whoever who maybe never have touched guns in their entire lives, have to go through increased scrutiny both at the state and the national level. There's much more regulation in terms of interstate commerce of guns. Before that wasn't the case, but with this new law that's just been being implemented, yes.
If you're referring to the current gun laws, I mean, the gun laws that are going to become effective as opposed to the ones that are already effective, I don't see any need to change any of them. They work as they're supposed to, I mean, as far as societal norms go. You know, the problem with laws are the lawless are not going to follow them. The people who are going to do the bad things are going to do them regardless of the laws. It doesn't matter. The good thing about the laws is it keeps the rest of us honest.
The current gun legislations are not as strict as they should be. So many people are injured and tragically killed due to homicides, suicides, and unintentional shootings. Not all of these incidents are reported, so there is no exact number. In the U.S., 1 out of 3 homes have guns within the household, and nearly 1.7 million of those guns are left unlocked and loaded. Our Second Amendment is the right to bear arms. In some cases, this is a good amendment to have, but in most cases it is not.
Yes, they absolutely should. Not only until this election, it was only at the state level, but now it's required. It's called the Federal Instant Background Checks for purchasing of anything. So this includes high-level ammunition magazines, you know, where you can shoot and shoot and shoot over 10 times or 20 times or unlimited times. So thanks to these federal instant background checks, somebody wants to go in and purchase a gun at a gun show or online or wherever, they must immediately be subjected to these background checks. So this is a real good kind of counterattack, a peaceful counterattack to the explosion of gun violence that we've been experiencing.
Well, I think that the background check system that they have now could be improved upon. And the reason that I say that is because of the way things are today with ISIS and various other things. It's difficult to do a background check, and I think that they need to make more of an effort in vetting people. So I can see improvement in the system. I can see where there's room for improvement in the system. As it stands right now, it is what it is. It's what we have. We work with it as best we can. But I think in the future you'll see that they'll become a little bit more robust as far as the background interviews go.
In the U.S., there are more deaths caused by guns than by car. As children, we cannot vote, but our government needs to find a way to protect lives and the Constitution.